Hello and welcome to your Elevated Living Show. I'm your host, Amanda Masters, co-founder and co-owner of Awake TV Network. I'm here today with a very special guest. She is a fabulous powerhouse spiritual teacher at the Agape Inspirational Church and Center that's run by Dr. Michael Beckwith. And more importantly, what I'm excited about, the reason why I'm excited having her on today is that she is a mother who has traveled her journey and is now speaking and teaching moms all over the world how to live in a space of self-love and self-care. And that's what we're going to focus on today's show of Elevated Living. How are you, Miss Suzi Lula?
I'm doing so well, and I'm so happy to be on with you. It's so great. Thank you so much for having me.
Woohoo! I'm excited.
Looking forward to our jumping in here, our conversation.
I know. We found right off the bat, Miss Suzi and I, we have a lot of connections and just that great synergistic energy as sisterhood, so this is going to be a fun episode today. Before we get going, I want to just read a little bit about Suzi so you guys can get to know her. Suzi Lula has been a licensed spiritual therapist for over 20 years with a full-time private practice. Suzi speaks around the globe at spiritual conferences and is best-selling author of The Motherhood Evolution: How Thriving Mothers Raise Thriving Children. I love that title. It gives me goosebumps. Suzi Lula is a visionary leader who is transforming the way people think about self-care and motherhood. A much sought-after spiritual psychologist, inspirational speaker, and best-selling author, Suzi challenges conventional thinking that says that women, must sacrifice and martyr themselves to be good mothers, and instead guides them to the realization that when they thrive, their children and all those around you will flourish as well. Thus, Suzi is redefining motherhood from simply surviving to powerfully thriving. Love that. Suzi's changing the world for our next 7 generations, one thriving mother at a time. She's an expert in the field of spiritual transformation, has a deep understanding of the nature of therapeutic change to effect profound inner healing. She is known for her compassionate heart and sensitivity. Suzi has a popular library of online transformational courses, which you can access at suzilula.com. She speaks, teaches, and serves on the board of trustees at the Agape International Spiritual Center with Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. She also runs Luminous, a holistic online community for women with Dr. Shefali Saberi, New York Times bestselling author of The Conscious Parent. She's married to her best friend, inspirational singer, songwriter Jamie Lula, and mom to their 17-year-old aspiring filmmaker, Will, and their 2 rescue dogs, Goody and Zoe. Well, welcome, Miss Suzi. I love having you here today.
Thank you.
So let's start with what brought you to this moment of understanding this idea of radical self-care for being a wonderful and inspirational mom. What brought you to this?
I have chills when you even asked me that question. Okay, so before I had my son, I was deeply on a spiritual path. I've meditated since I was 16. I've always been a seeker, always been a teacher. And I mean, I thought I'd be a pretty good mom. When I became a mom, it kicked me in the butt. It was hard. And so many of my own, I guess, incomplete issues with my own mom came up. And I just found myself mothering my son in a way that in a million years, I never thought that I would. You know, just the simplest things of being impatient, just all the things that we think are not going to happen when we're moms. They were happening. And I actually started writing my book because of a conversation my son had with me on the way home from school one day. I was just asking him the basic questions, how was your day at school? When are you going to do your homework? Like what I would consider basic questions. And he looked at me really in a heartfelt way and he goes, Mom, you need to learn to smile more. You are always
Mm.
so serious.
Mhm.
And in that moment, it was just a really big realization for me that I had taken motherhood on my shoulders and was sort of carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders with him. And he was right. I needed to find joy in my motherhood. And so that really sent me onto a deep dive of learning to better take care of myself so that I could be that mom that he needed me to be and that I wanted to be. So that was how I got started really devotionally onto a self-care practice.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you somehow were able to detach from this experience with your son and recognize I need to feel more joy in my life, not just going through the motions of the daily grind. I mean, I know having three children, 16, 13, 11, it's that wake up in the morning, get them up, make sure they get ready, get the breakfast, get to school. You can get into this kind of mindless, heartless space, almost robotic in terms of your daily routine and rituals with your children. Um, it sounds like you were able to kind of detach from that space and recognize it. So what did you do immediately following that recognition?
Right. Well, what I think you're saying that's so important is what I recognized is that I had been inundated by culture. So culture teaches a woman, a mother, culture teaches our society, but we're speaking about mothers here.
Mm,
Culture teaches us that our doing is more important than our being.
mm,
So, as you're saying, the robotic, doing the dishes, doing the laundry, getting him ready for school, thinking about his grades, thinking about a test, getting ready for that test, those are all doing activities. And in our culture, we're taught that those doing activities, what grade a child makes, anything on the external is more important than the internal. We spout the words that the internal is important, but we live so that the external is more important. And I really became aware that I had my priorities, that really my own value system is my being, my soul, my heart. And what I wanted with my son more than anything, which is what I think every mother wants, is a deep and intimate connection with my son. I wanted to be deeply connected to him, and I wanted him to feel deeply connected to me. That comes from our doing. But when we're inundated, or being, so when we're inundated in the doing, our children don't feel that deep connection with us. And I wasn't feeling that deep connection within my own self anymore because I was just on this roller coaster of doing. And that was I think when you ask, what did I do next? It was an epiphanic moment, I just realized I needed to get back to my own joy, my own connection with, my own spirit, my own heart, so that I would parent him and be present with him from my heart and from my being and not from my mind and my doing. Does that make sense?
absolutely,
So I
absolutely. It was a
just
recognition that
flip
there was
flop my values.
yeah, it was a recognition that there was a disconnection from the heart space, which
Yes,
is really the central point. The first thing that's created, the first cells that are born that create the first organ is that of the heart.
exactly
The
correct.
heart is what is connected to the quantum field and what interconnects us with our children and all other aspects of our life in terms of living and being in awareness and in the now moment. Were you already a part of the agape?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I met my husband at Agape. He was a singer there, so I met him there. I had been a student of Michael Beckwith's and also a teacher there well before. That's why I say I was very immersed in this. And, that's why I'm very passionate about working with mothers, because when you're talking about the quantum field and the heart, mothers are wired to be nurturers, to be of the heart. We are of the heart. And I think culture has done us such a large disservice by convincing us that it's selfish to take care of ourselves and selfish to stay connected to our heart. Because every mother, when you really talk to that mom, every mother I know is deeply connected to her heart. But I say that self-care is such a courageous act in this society because, what we're getting phone calls from teachers, and it's the test that's important. And my son is a junior right now, and what college is important. And it's what we're inundated with are these externals. And so a mother unconsciously and unintentionally gives away her power. And the heart center is our power as a mother. I always say that a mother sets the spiritual tone in the home. And yet we're taught to give away that power to, and it's not to say that grades and different things aren't important, but where are we leading from? And obviously we've been in this patriarchal male, society for a long time, and women in general are beginning to wake up, but mothers are even more invisible than women. We're way on the back burner doing the laundry. And even though we're in 2021, the women I talk to, the mothers I talk to, they're still, it's a radical act to go take care of yourself and lead with your heart, because what are you going to say when, the whole conversation is about SATs and ACTs and, when did your child start walking and what developmental stage, and are they sleeping in their own bed? Are they co-sleeping? We're just inundated with a lot, and there's no one that I know of. There's not too many of us, let's say. There's not too many of us really giving mothers permission. Lead with your own intuition. Lead with your heart as you're that, as you just said, it's our connection to the quantum field. There's nothing more powerful than that,
And to our children.
And to our children.
So, one thing that I've recognized, we are busy. I am a busy mom. I have a lot of different activities I have going on, beyond just caring for them and their day. And they're a little older now, so it's not just, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all day long. However, what I found is that when I do have that time with them, it is about that open heart space. It is about that vibrational energy of connection, even if it's a shorter period of time, because moms out there, the number one experience we can have, and I still have it on occasion now. I mean, it's not that I've figured it all out, but the energy of guilt, when you feel like, gosh, I have to be away from my child more, and I'm doing this activity and that activity, and
yes,
and then you get stuck in this obligation feeling, and sometimes it can turn into even resentment. And so that ability, what I found even with my own children, is that ability to connect in with the heart space seems to be make the biggest difference in terms of that quality time with their children, even if it's less than what you would feel is ideal.
Right. It's not the quantity of time, it's the quality of time. And a child will take you for less time, but more quality, of course. And I think, again, we've been fed that doing the laundry and keeping our house clean and, whatever else it is in your own world is more important than you taking the time to go take a walk in nature, or to light some candles, to meditate, to connect with your own heart. We're just taught one is more important than the other. The child is more important than our own heart. And so women, mothers, experience tremendous guilt when they even think about going to a gym or going on a walk in nature. Well, I can't leave my child to go take care of me. It just seems so selfish, but it only seems so selfish because we've been fed for a very long time from a patriarchal system that says that one thing is less important or more important than another. Because I can tell you, like I'm sitting here, if you feel disconnected from your heart and disconnected from your spirit, and you make that your first priority, you will be a radically and dramatically different mom when you meet your child again. The example I always use is that if I'm not taking care of myself and I am running on fumes and I walk into a room, my family can feel that I'm running on fumes. And they'll register, because obviously our children and all of us, we read each other's energy, not the words that we say. So if I walk into a room, you can always tell an individual who walks in the room and is overflowing with joy, or a person who walks in the room and is exhausted, overwhelmed, running on fumes. If I'm that person that walks into the room, then my child is walking on eggshells, or be careful not to say such and such to upset mom, or, that tension is in the air. But if I have taken what I call a very courageous act, and I've taken care of my own spirit, and I've filled my own tank, I take personal responsibility for the way that I'm going to walk in that room, I am going to walk in a dramatically different mother, and everyone will feel it. They will feel my joy. They'll feel my own inner connection, and they'll want to be around me. It's attractive. And then I will have the presence to be there with my child in a completely and radically different way. So it's a very undervalued way of life and lifestyle. I think that women, I want every mother on planet Earth to know that it's not only not selfish to take care of yourself, it's the most important modeling you can do for your child if you want to have an intimate, connected relationship with them.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That is stunning. That's perfect.
Right.
And as a mom, I understand completely, because if you do not take care of yourself and you continually sacrifice yourself, they will know. And that's what they will learn to do, which is these, it's an attack. Then it becomes an unhealthy, dependent relationship.
Exactly.
Versus independent. I'm taking care of myself, loving myself. I'm teaching you what's best for you in your life growing up, because it's most important to honor yourself first. Be authentic. Yes. Trust what you feel is the best thing to do or not do. So let me ask you this. We've talked quite a bit about the self-care process. Do you have a few tools you could share? Just even for moms to get started, because some moms might be listening to this going, how do I even begin the self-care process? I haven't even integrated this into my life. What are a few simple ways that moms can start, taking better care of themselves?
Okay, I'm going to tell you the simplest. It doesn't even sound like it's a self-care practice, but it's the simplest, especially I would say for a mom with kids of any age, but especially little ones. We're taught intellectually to take a pause, correct? But it's really challenging to actually take that pause. So your child has triggered you, or your child's having a temper tantrum, or something's happening in your world. And in that moment, you might know intellectually I should take a pause. So what I would say as a way to get yourself from reactivity to your own calm center is to literally say out loud to your child, like, I'm feeling, I'm having really big feelings right now, or, I feel myself really reactive right now. So I'm going to take 3 slow, deep breaths. You can do it with me, or I'm just going to take them. And you literally say them and count out loud. So I would say to my son, 1, 2, 3. Now, if you take the time to really breathe and say it out loud, it should take you about 30 seconds to actually go through that process. And research will show that in that 30 seconds, you will begin to change your brain chemistry, and the neural pathways will begin to rewire themselves in your brain in those 30 seconds. But it can be very challenging to literally teach your child when they're not used to it, and you're not used to it. But I would literally do that with my son, count out loud, and you will watch the ripple effects. A, they will start doing it in their own world. B, it's teaching emotional literacy, but mostly it's helping a mother to get recentered. I always place my hand over my heart. No one else. I could be at a dinner party and I'm feeling like an introvert, or I'm, feeling whatever I'm feeling. And I just place my hand on my heart. No one else knows what I'm doing. It's very private, but I do it in front of my son. I see my son doing it now. And then the last thing, if you noticed when I did it, the first one, I kept my eyes open. I was looking at my child, maybe not. Second breath, I put my hand on my heart. Third breath, I had my hand on my heart, and I also closed my eyes. The closing of the eyes, very powerful to turn away from the external just for that moment and turn internally and reconnect with your heart. So that's more of a soul care, maybe than the traditional self-care, but it brings you from the external into your own center. Now, if you do that enough times and habitually do that, you're going to empower yourself from the inside out, because therein lies your intuition, the deeper places in you that know really what you need next, what your child needs next. So something that's simple, it's free.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love the idea of you're also showing your child how you can take control of your emotions.
Yes.
Which is really, really important.
Yes.
You're teaching them how to recenter in that moment, because my understanding is the parasympathetic nervous system, for example, gets activated. And so when you stop and you bring your body back into homeostasis, you can calm your emotions, you can calm everything, that can be out of alignment. So I love that in terms of being able to immediately respond. I've also read about you are heavy into meditation and wanting to teach the mothers about meditating and how it's such a critical component to living an intended and healthy lifestyle. Would you like to talk about that a bit?
I would love to. I have a vision of connecting mothers from all over the world, all of us meditating at the same time. And in my book, I actually have 2 chapters about meditation. And I have a specific way that I teach meditation to mothers, because we're so busy, and because often, especially with little kids, you're trying to meditate and your kids are coming and sitting on your lap and coming and going. And that's the whole point of meditation, right? Is to be able to quiet our mind no matter what's going on in our external world. So kids actually help the ante of learning to meditate. But I would say really loosen any sense of rules of what you think meditation needs to look like or feel like as a mother. We need to really give ourselves a lot of spaciousness to do meditation in the way that works for us, because I have so many moms that come to me, they want to learn to meditate, but they're trying to put it into the box of what they think it's supposed to look and feel like. And a mom's life just doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
So I would say I have a bunch of things. One, if you'd like to meditate for 20 minutes a day, start with 5 minutes a day. And if you want to meditate for 10 minutes a day, start with 3 minutes a day. Because even that exercise I just showed for 30 seconds a day, something will happen, right? Something happens to calm you. That's the whole point. So if you sit, that's my meditation chair. If you sit for only 3 minutes, that's enough. If you feel good in those 3 minutes, you'll start going for 5. You'll start going for 8. Before you know it, you'll be at 10, 12, instead of trying to do 20 minutes and never getting through the 20 minutes, So less is more. The other thing I always say, because for a mom especially, it's sometimes really challenging to quiet the mind. So I say focus much less on trying to quiet the mind and much more on seeking to open the heart. And that could look like, before you meditate, playing a beautiful piece of music or playing an amazingly inspirational piece of music. It doesn't matter. There's nothing like music to help us go from the head to the heart. And so use that crutch, use that like training wheels. Use a piece of music, light a candle, use your ambiance. Now, granted, we don't need the ambiance. You can just sit in a chair and meditate. However, for a mother, those kind of things can be really powerful, because also, as I said, when the mother sets the spiritual tone in the home and your child sees you lighting a candle, or your child overhears you playing a beautiful piece of music, you're modeling to them that it's okay for them to slow down in their day. You know, it's like waves in the ocean, the inhale, the exhale, the waves go out, the waves come in. So to be modeling to your child that I take moments of exhalation, you know, so and then lastly, I would say, if nothing else, sitting in a chair again, don't worry about quieting the mind. Focus on, you're just literally focusing on, I'm inhaling and I can feel the air going in through my nostrils into my heart. I'm exhaling, I can feel the air exhaling and I can feel it in my nostrils. And the simple, you know, refocusing of your awareness and your attention literally onto the feeling of your breath can be so powerful for a mother, because it can just take you out of that world of diapers and, you know, toddlerhood into a world that is peaceful and a stream, a flow that I think mothers are just, you know, craving.
They are. They are. You know, I've seen it in my own family members with children and, cousins and things. And I watch them and I can see the stress, you know, of trying to be a working mom and
Yes.
successful at their job as entrepreneurs. And yet, you know, they're trying to be everything they can to that child and or their children. And it can all be overwhelming.
Yes.
So I'm in definite alignment with what you're saying. And in terms of meditation, what I've learned is that meditation is as important as brushing your teeth, taking a shower, taking that time for yourself. Because what I say is, if you're going to scrub your physical body, if you're going to clean your mouth, you need to scrub your energy body, because your energy body determines how your day is going to go. It's your projection of reality. It's your subconscious thoughts, which control your habits, your thought patterns, your feelings, your emotions, and that's your ultimate projection. So the meditation, even like you said, the 3 minutes to start, helps recenter and quiet the mind, which is so essential for bringing you back into the state of homeostasis and alignment, and also setting intentions for your day. You know, rather than having this day run you and the children run you, you know, you can set intentions for what you want to happen, how you want this day to turn out. And I feel like moms can get into such a routine, right, where everyone else is telling them what to do and where to go and how to do, you know, how to make this happen or that happen. When you set intentions for your day and what you want, it's when you start doing that, maybe even for the first time, you recognize, wow, I haven't even thought about what I want today.
Exactly. And this is so important. I wish I would have thought to bring it, because I have my clients I'm a big visual person, right? So you could get just typing paper, you know, and write your intentions in beautiful colored markers. I mean, you could just do it in pen or pencil, it doesn't really matter. But these intentions, just put them on your mirror, put them on your refrigerator, put them next to your bedside table, put them on your desk. They will speak to you during the day. You will look and then change them every week, change them every morning, change them every month. It's another way, first of all, for you to, in your own life, experience the power of setting intentions. And also, as you were saying earlier, it's just amazing modeling to your children without ever saying a word. So I don't necessarily talk to my son about, mommy setting an intention and I'm going to be looking at this, you know, these words on my mirror. But over the years, that has become a part of the fabric of his consciousness. So he sets intentions, and I hear him talking to his friends. And when they're talking about a film he's getting ready to do, I will hear him say, well, so what is our overall intention for the day? You know, he lives in it. And so I don't know that I've ever sat down and talked to him about that, but he lives it. And so I like to say to clients, you know, make it visible, make it visual, put it on your mirrors, change it up. It's a great conversation starter. You know, it's so powerful.
That's beautiful. I love that idea.
Now we're on this subject. We have another thing. I'm just throw it in quickly. We have
Yeah, go.
big on, I'm sure you'd agree with this. Obviously it's so obvious. So big on gratitude practices, right? And appreciation practices. And
Absolutely.
this is something that, you know, moms feel very disconnected with our kids because we are taught, you know, what are you going to do for homework? What homework do you have? Or, you know, toddlers, it's like, in the park and somebody, you know, getting in a squabble with someone else. So this is all external. Where our connection comes is through gratitude, appreciation practices. So one of the things that we've done ever since my son was really, really small is that we have just a piece of poster paper, like on a wall. And when one of us walks by, we just will write every couple of days or whenever, you know, something that we appreciate about the other person, something we're grateful for. Or we've done it where I just cut out little sheets of paper, little tiny bits of paper, and we write it and put it in a jar. If your children are really little, you can just be asking them, what are you grateful for? What do you appreciate today? And you write it for them. Point being, you write it down, and then either at dinner or once a week, you know, you pull out the mason jar and you pull them out and you're all sitting around and you just share it with each other. It can be 30 seconds, can be 3 minutes, can be 5 minutes, can be 10 minutes. But we do it at the dinner table. Some days we just do it and Will is laughing, and it's just something that is a way of life that you want to be in the tapestry of your home and the ethers of your home, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it sparks really intimate conversations and you get to know, wow, this is what my child is grateful for. I didn't even know this was going on. And this was meaningful to him in some way. So you just learn a lot about your children. So just wanted to put that in there.
I love that idea. I use a gratitude practice, and I teach my clients that as well, where like bookends of the day, when they start the day, there's a gratitude practice. What are 5 things you're in gratitude for as you're waking up, to shift the hamster wheel thoughts that start as soon as you start waking up. You get into your gratitude practice. What are the 5? I'm thankful for the very comfortable bed I'm sleeping in. I'm thankful for my children. I'm thankful. So you shift that process. However, what I love about what you just said is that you share this with the family, that you write this down, which I do tell my clients to do. And though you share it with the family, you bring them into the fold. I love this idea of putting something on the wall that everyone can write on, or pieces of paper in a jar, maybe once a week at the dinner table, you read them out loud. That shifts the energy and vibration of everything, because I've noticed with my 3 children that are now 16, 13, and 11, they're busy. They're busy with their friends. They're busy with their activities. It's so easy for us to become more disconnected. We can all be in the same house and totally disconnected. Plus the social media, which is, for us parents, completely out of control. It's like, how do you even begin to manage that or monitor that with your children? You know, I have, for example, on their phones, which I don't really use as much anymore, but when they were younger, where I'll turn off their apps, you know, certain times of the day and stuff like that, you know. So it can be, you know, a time where we're totally disconnected and yet under the same roof. But this idea of bringing forward thoughts of gratitude and thankfulness for different things that other people are doing in the house. Why I'm thankful for, you know, my sibling for this reason, or my mom for that reason, or my dad, or whatever it may be. I love that concept.
Thank you. It's so powerful.
Oh my goodness.
You learn so much about each other, and it will bring you closer. You guys will see. Try it. You'll see. And the other thing is, I guess this is obvious, but the other thing is I sort of have like a 10-to-1 ratio in my mind at all times with my son, you know, through the years. So if I'm going to find 10 things in the day to appreciate and be thankful and grateful for about him, and I will verbalize it to him for every one thing that I'm going to ask him to shift and do. So if I'm thinking he hasn't been taking out the trash and that's one of his chores, and I want to say something about the trash, you better believe that I'm going to find 10 other things to be appreciating him for that are real. You know, if he makes his bed, I'm going to appreciate him for that. Thank you so much. You're part of the family. You know, I appreciate that you're doing that. And then when he does pull in the trash can, even though that's his chore, I'm still going to be thankful and appreciative of him. And I'm telling you, it's like medicine. It's the medicine for well-being. It goes such a far way because all of us like to feel appreciated and seen. That's at the core of the show, is that every child wants to be seen by their parents. Every child wants to know that they matter and that they're important and that their parents' eyes light up, you know. But when you have, you know, like you said, everybody's busy. We can't change that. Everyone is busy.
Right.
But we can bring in, I so appreciate you. I'm so grateful for you for doing X, Y, and Z. And I make it very specific. I find the tiniest little things. And I just find, oh, I noticed how you wrote your assignment in the planner, in your planner that you got. Oh, I noticed how you're keeping up with that date planner. That's really so amazing. I noticed that, you know. I hope that feels so great for you. You know, oh, I noticed you haven't had any missing assignments this whole semester so far. That must feel so good. Just the simplest things that are happening, you know?
Well, and also we're teaching them to reciprocate.
Exactly.
We're teaching them to share that with us because us moms need to hear it too.
We need to hear it. And my son is very gracious about that. And I hear him with his girlfriend. He's very, and with his friends. It helps both genders, but I think especially with I think with our girls, they need to see us with self-care. Our girls need this so desperately from us. And our boys need to hear this so that they maintain a connection with their inner sensitivity. Because boys are very sensitive and they are trained in our culture to put up lots of walls, you know. And to see a young man who is still treating his friends respectfully and kindly, well, both genders, you know. So
beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Well, Miss Suzi, I feel like we could go on for
yeah, I know. We're soul sisters. We found each other.
We could go on for hours talking about this topic. I feel like this is just the start. I'm really happy to have you on the show today. And
thank you.
Your work is, you know, you're so accomplished and you're such a loving being and such a huge heart space. Oh my goodness, your vibration's so high, and what you're here to do and you've been sharing with the world for so many years is phenomenal. So where can people find you?
Need to know to spell my name, Suzi, S-U-Z-I, Lula, L-U-L-A, SuziLula.com. I'm sure we'll put it on the link. But SuziLula.com, you can sign up. Oh, it's perfect for you guys. I have a 6-day self-care challenge, a free 6-day self-care challenge. You just sign up and you'll get a video from me every morning to inspire you for self-care for 6 days. It's perfect.
Beautiful.
And then I have tons of free resources and classes. I have a meditation class for moms and all sorts of different things there. So.
Yeah, online courses and things. And then what are you doing later? What else are you up to? You've got
this Wednesday, if this airs soon, I'm teaching a free online group coaching masterclass, and I'm getting ready to teach a 3-month online group coaching course. So if anybody is interested, it's another thing I just really haven't seen too much out there, where we're going to create a really safe space and moms are going to come in with their challenges. And then I'm going to work with different moms each week. And through the power of witnessing other moms being coached or receiving the coaching yourself, you're going to experience deep transformation. So
that'll be stunning. How can people find out about that?
On my website.
Okay, that's amazing. Moms, if you've heard what she said, she's got a group coaching program starting this Wednesday. So 2 days from today, as you're watching the show. She's got a group program. Check it out. SuziLula.com, SuziLula.com. Miss Suzi, thank you so much for joining today. You are absolutely fabulous. And we will definitely connect again here on Awake TV very soon.
Thank you, Amanda. And right back to you, the work that you're doing. I mean, even the Awake TV. I mean, couldn't even have a better name. Awake TV. Like, who does not want this? So, sister to sister, really acknowledge you as well. It's really wonderful getting to know you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, lovely, 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 all the way around.
Many more to come.
Absolutely. And for those of you, so here on Awake TV, we have teachers of all different modalities teaching different aspects of the awakening experience tools. We have scientists, we have spiritual healers, we have all different modalities for you guys to check out. We now have about 900 videos of high vibrational content on our platform. So be sure to come and check out everything we have going on, as this is here for you. This is to support you in shifting into a higher space of consciousness and learning to love yourself and make your life the best it can be. I'm Amanda Masters. This is your Elevated Living Show, coming to you Mondays, 6 p.m. Pacific time every Monday here on Awake TV Network. Take care, everyone, and I will see you next Monday. Bye-bye.